I don't know where this guy came from, but I'm here for it. What's up, everybody? It's Quisha King, and I have to talk about Kwame Brown. So Kwame Brown, I had never heard of him up until a couple of days ago. He has been like dropping these videos that are just fire. Strong black guy, strong black man, and just really, you know, his masculinity is so, it's so good to see. It's so good to see him like standing up for what is right. You know, I don't know his political leanings, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, because what he's saying is true. What he's saying is true. You know, and as a conservative, to hear him say this for the black community to hear is just, I am so happy. I am so elated to hear him talk like this. So he has been, you know, people have been just clowning him. So it was Charlamagne the God from the Breakfast Club, Matt Barnes, who was a NBA player, and just some other players that I'm not really familiar with, and different sports commentators. They have been just coming for him, and apparently he has had enough. And he's talking about, I'll play you guys a clip from a couple of his responses to these individuals coming for him, so you guys can hear for yourself. I do have to warn you, the language is a little spicy. However, what he's saying is true. Let's take a look.
If you're a successful person, tell us how you did it, despite of all the history that you're going to keep regurgitating. Tell me how you came successful, because remember, each one teach one. So what the are you teaching? Oh, white people did this back in the day in 1871. White people did it. You motherfuckers are so good at history. What about right now? Let's stop mentioning white folks. What are we going to do to build ourselves up first? I wasn't a child now around none of you older generation, not just this generation. Because you men, some of you men sound weak as hell. All y'all do is talk about you can't, you can't, you can't. I wasn't around men that said you can't. Kids, and now these young kids can barely read. Only thing they can think about is being a rapper or shooting some goddamn body. A lot of kids want to go to prison to become men because there's no example of men around. And we're continuously doing the same cycle and then asking for mentors. And that's what people don't want to be honest about. I'm not going to do it with you. I would love to get in front of Roland Martin, all these people for year after year after year after year that are preaching the same bullshit. And then I would like to take a look at their salaries and how much they get for talking like that. And I guarantee you, I could hold their salaries up and say, bing fucking go. This is why they keep preaching this bullshit to you. Bingo. See, I don't get a dime for telling you the truth. I get backlash. Because if you and Jack were some real dudes, y'all would be doing what I'm doing right now. But you can't. You can't. You might can talk. You might can scream and shout. But as long as they hand in your pocket, you ain't free, boy. You gotta do this. Say it's the white people I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. Tupac was right then, and he right now. You need to stop blaming white folks. You're sick in the inside. The main ones out there making all that noise, hooting and hollering for black people, disagree with them, and watch what they do to you. Watch what they try to do. Watch what they say to you. Watch how they talk to you, black man. Just disagree with them and watch how they talk to you. Candance Owens black, and I ain't heard a person sat down and had a healthy dialogue with this woman yet. I watched them put this woman up on the stage, and she's a black woman, but she ain't the black woman that you want to hear from. But she makes some valid points that I would like to hear someone challenge and argue with, just the point and not the person. If what I'm saying is wrong, educated people should be able to be emotionally strong enough to sit there and hear somebody's point. You teaching at colleges to not like people. That's not the debates that I used to see. When I grew up, a debate was about the content, the message. You see two people say their point of view, and we see who got the most facts in it. Now, as soon as a person walks in the room, shit, who the fuck is that? Get him out of here. Call 911. Oh my God. Almost fainted.
So you saw that. He is really going in, but what he's saying is so powerful. And I really hope that the Black community as a whole can receive what he's saying. You have these elite people, the Charlamagne the Gods, I'm just going to expand the, Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, the Angela Rye's, the Oprah Winfrey's, all of these wealthy Black people telling you that you're oppressed. Meanwhile, they cashing checks. I mean, what I'm sorry, what? Like, how did you get to where you're going? But I can't. It's weird. It is so weird that instead of us saying, you know what, let me let you know, you can get here too. You can achieve everything you want to achieve. No, they don't want to do that. They want to tell you that you're oppressed. They want to tell you that you can't reach the levels that I've reached. All of these people have traveled all around the world multiple times. And somehow, some way, they find their behinds right back here in America and don't plan on going anywhere. I mean, Oprah, I don't see her, living out of the country. I don't see, these rappers, these people who are so, woke. LeBron James, and I think a lot of it is just purely political ignorance. Like, they just don't understand how the system works, and they don't understand, as far as like the celebrities and stuff, like they don't really. Some of them do, like the people like Oprah and things like that, who are just a little bit, a little more educated. I think they really do understand, because you didn't hear Oprah talk like this, years ago. Yeah, she went through hard times, but it didn't stop her. Who doesn't? Without struggle, there is no progress. I mean, that was something that we just knew. It's universal law. Struggle makes you better. Struggle and having to work hard and work through things and solve problems and be productive and skill yourself up. All of those things advance you. Sitting there like a bump on a log and just being like, well, everything is racist. I can't do anything. I'm just going to be stuck here for the rest of my life until I tear down every symbolism of racism in America. I'm incapable of advancing. That's ridiculous. But they'll sell that to you. And they'll try to sell that to people like Kwame Brown, but he's not having it. And I am so thankful that he is pushing back. He is letting them know, why aren't you telling these kids that they can be anything? Why aren't you showing them what it took? The sacrifice, the hard work, the struggle it took for you to get to where you're going. Instead, you want to just turn around and tell them, here I am way up here. I'm just going to tell you guys back there that, good luck with that, because it's racist. These people are evil. The people who know what they're doing, they know that they're selling a lie and they sell it anyway, it's evil. And the funny thing about it is, they will sit here and talk about capitalism and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, they have huge contracts. They are living off of the capitalism. They are being they're being compensated for their skill. They're being compensated for the value that they bring to a market. That is capitalism. But they'll tell you that system, the capitalist system, is racist. They'll tell you that, there's no way for you to make it in America. And all these, everything has to be torn down. Meanwhile, they function and thrive. Not only function, but thrive in the very same system that they turn around and tell you that you can't make it in. Y'all, come on. Come on. You've got to admit, like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Right? I mean, you can't. Two things that are antithetical to each other cannot be true at the same. Like, you can't say, I'm oppressed, but I'm about to go get the bag. Like, that's not oppression. Like, people in India, people in China, people in legitimate third world countries are not sitting up there talking about how oppressed they are, and at the same time talking about going to get a bag, going to make money, going to capitalize on something, using their talent to enrich their lives. They're not doing that because their system will not allow them to do that. It doesn't allow them to function that way. Come on, y'all. You have to objectively think about these things. And what I mean by that, when you objectively look at something, you got to step out and explain it to yourself like you're not a part of it. Say, if you have to, there's this country in the West who their system is you can create what you want. You can live pretty much how you want. You can decide what income level you want to be at by your education, by how hard you work, and all these things. Look at it as if you're not a part of it and compare it to other systems around the world and see which one you want to belong in. See which one can actually afford you a better way of life. But you have to objectively look at these things. If you only see through the lens of systemic racism and being black, like this is what black people do, and if you limit what you're allowed to look at and think about, you can't do that and succeed. These are not the reason why successful people can write books on how to succeed is because there is a process. There is a mindset. And you can't have two competing mindsets when you're trying to achieve a goal that are so antithetical to each other. You can't say, I'm oppressed, and then at the same time talk about you're going to succeed. It's how are you going to succeed if you're oppressed? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't have those two mindsets going on. It like the Bible says, a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. So if you tell yourself, like for me as a Christian, if I say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and then I turn around and say, yeah, but white supremacy, that's really going to hold me back. Those are two ideas that cannot both be true and where you can go forward. You can't be double-minded that way. You will be unstable because you'll be constantly pulled in to one side. You have to be fixed and know, I can succeed. I can do all things through Christ. You have to believe on that principle, because anything else, it doesn't matter. It's not a color thing. It's a universal law. There is reaping and sowing, seed time and harvest, a give and a take. It is a exchange. And if you are allowing yourself to be controlled by one train of thought, which is I'm a victim, I'm oppressed, I can't do, I'm black, and that means all of these things, how are you going to really succeed and take hold of what God has for you in this life? Stop letting people pull you from this issue to that issue to this issue. No, you have to be firm and strong in what you believe in and say, wait a minute, this is what God says about me. God is bigger than racism. God is bigger than white supremacy. God is bigger. He's conquered the world. If you believe that, you cannot believe that you're oppressed at the same time. Now, we know that there is sin in the world. We know that racism exists. But especially today in America, is it enough to really hold you back? I see black people out here doing whatever they want to do. They are literally doing whatever they want to do. They want to start a restaurant business, they do it. They want to start a marketing company, they do it. They want to go into Bitcoin, they do it. They want to go into real estate, they do it. Whatever we want to do, we're doing it. But the idea of, oh my God, racism is, it keeps you from reaching and even hoping. Those two things do not go together, y'all. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Hey, you, please hit the like button. Please subscribe and please share if you have found this content valuable. Thank you so much. I will see you.